Hi, Jim Settled here with you today with Century 21 Hometown Realty down here in Arroyo Grande. We've got a great opportunity today to sit and visit with Christie Clemmons. She's the Vice President of Sales of Fidelity Title and Escrow Services here on the Central Coast. They cover a great service territory of Paso Robles all the way down to Lompoc. Christie and her various title and escrow teams have been my go-to people since I've been in the real estate industry. I've always been just overwhelmed with the service they offer, and wanted to get a little more time with her today to investigate and talk about title and escrow just briefly. Christie, I've done a lot of transactions with first-time buyers and even with repeat sellers and buyers, and I've often found that, quite honestly, some of these people still don't have a good understanding of the process and the role it takes in a real estate transaction.
Sure. As
a realtor, I really feel it's important to every opportunity I have to educate my sellers and my buyers about this process. So if you don't mind, and I'm so thankful to have you spend this time with us today.
Thank you.
Just talk a little bit about the process. I know it could be, you could talk for hours on the subject,
sure.
But just a real basic understanding of what is title, what is going on in that process, and how does that lead into the escrow process, and things of that nature. Just what can you elaborate for us on that?
Of course. Well, Jim, thank you for including me. I appreciate that. Definitely, title and escrow is always sort of a complicated, and people have a lot of questions. But title insurance is the #1 most important thing in purchasing property and transferring property. So the title insurance is basically protects the new owner of any future claims that could be against the property. So once you get into escrow, and escrow is a neutral third party, and so once you have an accepted offer, you'll go into escrow, you'll come into Fidelity Title, and we're kind of the neutral third party that has all communication with all parties of the transaction: the buyers, the sellers, the real estate agents, the lender, the termite company. We're kind of the palm of the hand, and so we'll open the escrow, and when we open escrow, that generates a search of the property, and so we will be issuing a preliminary title report. And it's really important that you review the title report to see what current liens are on the property, so that we make sure that we can clear all those liens, so that when we do go ahead and transfer property, all those are clear, and the new owner, has clear title to the property. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's just we're here to make it extremely easy for the sellers and buyers. There's going to be a lot of different questions, but obviously we're here to issue the title insurance, and then also to be the escrow holder, be the neutral third party, and we transfer the deed at the end of the escrow, make sure that we have all, you come here to sign your loan documents if you're getting a loan, and really try to make that part of the transaction as smooth as possible.
And so what a lot of people I don't think understand is that title and escrow, it's kind of all one process, but it's kind of two different things.
Sure.
The title portion of it is, really researching the property and its history and looking for these defects, if you will. And the escrow is actually the service and the time period of the process when all this is being done, and all the other paperwork that kind of come up in a transaction is kind of formulated through. Is that a good way to explain it?
That's a great way to explain it, Jim. That was perfect. And so a lot of areas may have title and escrow separate. Here on the Central Coast, we're all in one. Exactly. So Fidelity Title has escrow and title insurance combined. So our escrow officers, like Kathy Moore in the Arroyo Grande office, she would then communicate with our title officer, Reese Benson, in our San Luis Obispo office. So really, as a buyer or seller, you're just going to have communication mainly with the escrow officer themselves.
Sure.
And then we will internally communicate with the title officer.
One thing I might mention, and I think you would say this is true, especially in the area, we're lucky to handle a lot of diverse types of properties, all the way from residential to condos to, I actually get to handle a lot of branch type property, and so there's different title policies that would be, to be considered when you do that. I don't actually explain every one of them, but important for a seller and a buyer to know that there are different policies that could be more fitting to what your application is. Obviously, you guys, I do know that in every transaction you're always offering the highest and best potential title policy, but something to keep in mind that there are other title policies that may fit a specific need. For instance, if I work with a lot of investors who are looking at properties to maybe clean up and refresh on the market, and I know you have an offer such thing as an interim binder.
Exactly.
Which can save some seller some money if he's going to turn the property over in a little faster fashion. So
definitely,
there's lots of neat angles and avenues to explore with a good company who's going to protect you and look at your best interest the whole way through. I'm just super excited. I know, you know, there's choices forever to make with realtors, there's choices to make with title companies, but one thing that I know, and Kathy, who is actually standing behind the camera, will attest to this, that having somebody local when the chips are down, you can't say enough of that. I know that I want to be able to, when I need to, find somebody. I don't want to have to look behind a computer or not have a call go unanswered, and I'm able to walk in a door here and get questions answered if I need be. I've never been given nothing but the utmost of service, but we want to thank you for your time with us today.
Yes,
so
thank
happy
you.
that you had an opportunity to visit with me, Christy. I really appreciate your time. Also, I still believe you guys offer these buyer and seller guides, don't you?
We do. They're great, great source, and please stop by our office. We're at 130 West Branch Street, and if you'd like a buyer and seller guide, come in or ask Jim for one, and we'll be happy to provide that to you.
Thanks a lot, Jim Settle, Century 21 Hometown Realty. We'll see you next time.